Hey friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothes, I list them on eBay and Poshmark and sell them, hopefully for a profit. Today is Monday, February 4th. Nope, 10th, February 10th. I have 6 items that sold over the last 48 hours. This was a very slow, low weekend. That has kind of been the theme for February for me. But I feel like I've talked about that a lot. And so today I want to talk a little bit about my pricing strategy. And this is a little baby handmade sweater. It's got little bobble things and then little baseball buttons. And for sweaters like this, little vintage sweaters or things that are a little more unique, unless there's something specific about the item that tells me otherwise, I price them at $30. So some things that might be specifics would be like right now, it seems like the men's crew neck, USA made, kind of very boxy looking, but with like a geometric print. Those are selling around $30 for me. And so I'm pricing them more at $40. This, sometimes a brand would be something that would tell me something different, to price it differently. Maybe a flaw, I would like price it less than that. But vintage sweaters are something that I sell fairly often. And so that's just kind of my go-to price for that. Like I said, unless comps tell me otherwise. Vintage handmade baby sweaters have an average sale price of $15.27 with a 1% sell-through rate, which is really low. But I did go ahead and price this one at $30. Somebody sent me an offer for $20.01. And I accepted that offer. I've had this for 5 months and I bought it at the bins. That's the Goodwill outlet where you pay by the pound. And so I average my cost of goods as $2 per item. There it's actually a little less than that, but my profit on that. So my profit is what the buyer paid for the item plus shipping, because they pay for shipping as well. So they paid a total of $27.26 minus the fees. In this case, this was promoted, so I paid an extra 82 cents in fees, minus what I have to pay for the shipping label, which was $6.25. So my profit is $14.42. What I like about how I generally do my pricing is that I can find things that have low sell-through rates and still sell them because of how I try my best to price them. Oh, I forgot this. So this is a tag from the place where I bought it. It says $8. It was actually 90% off. This item right here came from a liquidation store. This is just a tank top. It is plus size, which does help the sell-through rate. So the brand is Athleta. And this one actually tells me here that it's the Calm Cool Cami. I found a few of these in this color and then another color, all in the same size. And so I like to buy multiples if I can. So for this shirt, the Calm Cool Cami has an average sale price of $17.79 with a 12% sell-through rate. That's very low. If I add plus size, which this one is, it does help. So the average sale price goes to $20.50 with a 22% sell-through rate. So that does help a lot. But 22% is still a really low sell-through rate. So on something like this, what I like to do is price really kind of at the bottom of comps and then even be willing to go a little lower. So what I did was I priced them at $20, $19.96 is how I do it. Just because I don't really know why. I actually changed it to 1995. Like all my stuff ends in 95 now for 2025, just to kind of help me be able to see at a quick glance when I've listed something. So this I priced at $19.96, and then I usually have almost always have a 15% off coupon on my eBay store, and I will also send out 20% off offers. So I do that both on eBay and on Poshmark. On Poshmark, I use Prime Lister to do that. It's an automation tool. That's how I share on Poshmark as well. So this one, somebody sent me an offer for $15, which is, what is that? That's 25% off. That's pretty close. It is lower than the $20.50 of the average sale price. However, with that low sell-through rate, I want things to move. I don't want to hold on to them forever. So they paid a total of $20.44. I paid 80 cents for it at that liquidation store, and it took 6 months to sell. After my fees, my shipping, and my cost of goods, my profit is $12.12. I did have another one, like I said, of that exact same style, the same color, same size, and it sold for $16 on Poshmark like a month or so ago, and I still made that like $12. So I thought that was good. This is something that is very common for me to find. This is a tankini top, only the top. And in this specific brand, Land's End, these tend to sell well for me. They do sell better in a plus size. This one has a fun like paisley print. It does also have a waistband, which I just, try to point out in pictures, but I've sold quite a few like that. I think some people like that style. So very similarly, the average sale price is $15.58 with an 8% sell-through rate. Very, very low. However, my experience is that this style and this brand sells for me. It does sell better in plus sizes. I may have already said that. I do that sometimes. But I believe I did price this at $20. So there are some things that I know, even though the sell-through rate, the average sale price is $15, I know that I can still sell it for $15. And so that is just based on my experience. Now, I'm not overly experienced in this. I've been doing this for 3 years. So I think I have a little bit of experience. I'm still learning, and it's certainly not fail-proof. This is not something that works for me every time. But this did sell for $15.97. So I had this priced at $20 and then the 20% off offer. Again, this was something that I found at the bins. So this is not ever anything that I'm going to pay $5 for. But if I can find it for $2 or less, a Land's End tankini top, that's something that I'm going to buy. And if it's a regular size, I usually price them at $20. And then if it's a plus size, I usually price them about $25. So my profit on this one is $11.74. So usually, if it's not something that I don't have an experience with, I would price it I would have priced that at like $15 and then hope to get, 10 based on, again, the really low sell-through rate, which fluctuates seasonally because it's a swimsuit, right? There are obviously people buying swimsuits in February, but the majority of those swimsuits are going to be sold, again, in my experience, in like April, May. It's when people are more likely looking for swimsuits. However, that's not always, spring breaks are coming up. My daughter takes some classes at a local college here, and their spring break is the first week of March. There are no swimming suits in stores yet. They're coming. But if you wanted to have a swimsuit for the first week of March, you would need to buy it online. So there's that as well. All right, so something that is a little different here. This is a button-up shirt. This is a flannel short sleeve shirt, and it is made of wool. It is a Pendleton, and now Pendleton can be really like sought after. They're wool pieces for sure. They're vintage wool. Sometimes these button-ups will have like a style name. So there's like a board shirt. If you look up those names, they can have really good sell-through rates. Now, what I looked up was Pendleton wool flannel short sleeve. And the average sale price is $32.13 with a 24% sell-through rate. That's the best one I've had so far today. However, that's still not a really strong sell-through rate. However, in addition, there is some holes in there's like, it's not really lining, it's just like kind of lining here for the label. And then if I'm looking closely, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but these were actually cut off and made to be short sleeve. They weren't originally short sleeved. So because of that, I wanted to price on the lower side because there was some flaws. Oh, the other thing is the original buttons were completely missing. Why did I even buy this thing? I don't know. The buttons were completely missing, and a friend of mine replaced them for me. So I have had this thing forever. It's just been like sitting in a box, and I asked my friend if she would replace some of my husband's buttons, and then I had 2 shirts that were to resell, and I, very specifically said, hey, these are for resale if you would replace these buttons for me too. And so she did on one and then decided she didn't want to on the other, which is totally fine. But I just finally listed this about a month ago. I don't remember where I got it. I think at the bins. But I don't have a cost of goods other than I am going to give my friend the total profit from this. So just because I can, honestly, because I want to. So she's just really good and helps me in a lot of ways. So I thought it would be nice if I gave her those. Gave her the profit from that, since she did take the time to replace all the buttons for me. So you might say, like, Jen, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe give her part of your profit, and that's fine. If that was something that you wanted to do in your life, that's fine. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. All right. So this ended up selling for $23.96 plus shipping. They paid $31.80. It sold in a month. So what I did here was, even though the sell-through rate was $32.13, I actually listed it pretty low because of those flaws. I also will generally write either flaw or read in the title if there's something very glaringly wrong with it. Just to make sure that they do see that. So my profit on this is $20.34, which is pretty good, especially considering I did have some cost to it. I just don't know what that cost was. All right, I think I told you everything here. All right, so this is gonna change things a little. The change is this is now Poshmark. So most of the time I price the same on Poshmark as I do on eBay. This is a rash guard by the brand Hook. And this is a fishing brand. And here is the graphic on the back. It does have like the flag, has a swordfish, has a boat. I put all of those things in the title. The average sale price is $15 with a 3% sell-through rate. Now, on eBay, I priced this at $15, I think. I'm pretty sure I did. I didn't double check. But on Poshmark, I did up that price to $20. And there's one very specific reason. The reason is when you sell something for less than $15, the fee structure on Poshmark changes. So usually I did this out of order and now I've confused myself. Usually the fee structure is just 20%. So if I sell something for $20, they're going to take $4 of that, which is 20%. If you sell something for under $15, it is a flat fee of $2.95. So I try not to sell very much under $14. So if I price something at $15 and then Prime Lister goes through and sends out 20% off offers, that's very obviously going to, that's going to be $12 and then another $3 in fees. I'm already at $9 before I take out my cost of goods. So I just try really hard to not sell things that low. So if I have it priced at $15, sometimes I don't even cross list those lower items to Poshmark, but sometimes if I think they might sell, I will go ahead and cross list them and then just bump the price up to $20 and hope that it sells for around $14 to $16. And this did sell for $15, so somebody must have sent me an offer on that, which is great. Yeah, did I tell you it was a 3% sell-through rate? Now, when I do look up the sell-through rate and the average sale price, I look that information up on eBay, not on Poshmark. And I do know that sometimes those can change just from platform to platform. Sometimes the average, people might pay a little more on one platform versus another for whatever reason. So this sold for $15. I've had it for 3 months. It came from a favorite thrift store of mine for 38 cents. My profit is $11.62. All right, this one is my best profit by far. And also another example of how I generally do my pricing. So this is a Hawaiian shirt, and if you look very closely, has some friends on it. Well, maybe. Where is he? I don't know where he went. Here, I see one on the back. It's Mickey Mouse. So this is a Disney Parks Hawaiian shirt. The average sale price on this is $34.58. So the sell-through rate is only 16%. That is really low. I priced it at $35, and then somebody did, after 6 months, made me an offer for $25. So I went ahead and accepted that. I would have liked to, maybe stayed more in the $28 range, but that's okay for me. Again, I'm just telling you what I do. You don't have to do the same things. That's okay. So I did get this at the bins also, and my profit is $18. But again, I priced, kind of right there in the middle and then expected to take 20, maybe 30% lower than what I listed it for. So 20% would have been $7 off, which again is like the $28, but I'm not gonna fuss over $3, especially when I've had something for, 6 months. Now, you might say to yourself, or to me, hey Jen, that's great, but what happens if you find something that has a really great sell-through rate? I wish I had an example of that for you today, but unfortunately, all of these items were really low sell-through rate items, and a good majority of the items that I sell are lower sell-through rate. I try, when I'm sourcing, to hit about 20 to 30%, but that's almost impossible. Would I love to have a 50% or higher sell-through rate every time? Absolutely. But where I live and the limited sourcing that I'm able to do, I'm just not able to find that. However, I still sell things with lower sell-through rates. when I do have something that has a higher sell-through rate, I will generally price above the average sale price, and then based on that 20% off, try to get that 20% right around the average sale price. So as an example, if something had an average sale price of around $40 with maybe a 40% sell-through rate, I would price it at $50, and then that 20% off would be at that $40 range. Hopefully with a higher sell-through rate, someone's going to be looking for that more often, more commonly, quicker. That 20% off offer for $40 would get sent out, and hopefully they would accept that. That has happened numerous times, but you know, this weekend was not the weekend for it. Like I said, I wanted to talk about something other than how slow sales are. That's okay. I just threw that in here. My profit for the day is $88.24. And unfortunately, that's not for the day, that's for the weekend, which is low. I do aim for $67 per day, which is $2,000 a month. That won't be for February because February is only 28 days, but that's okay. That's just my goal. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. I do have a question of the day. I'm curious about the Super Bowl. What you think? Did you go? No, did you go? That would be amazing. If you went, tell me about that. I want to hear about it. Did you watch? We did not. We did not watch it at all. We took the day and went to a zoo as a family. It was cold, 30 degrees. So we all bundled up and went to the zoo, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really great time. We came home and ate a bunch of snacks and watched some sitcoms with my older kids after I put the little kids to bed. We kind of boycotted the Super Bowl just because we're diehard Bills fans, and man, they should have won that semifinal. I don't even know if that's what it's called. The AFC Championship. I don't know. I'm probably not saying the right words, but we just decided since the Bills didn't make it, we weren't gonna watch it. So did you like it? What was your favorite part? Are you there for the halftime show? Are you there for the game? Are you there for the commercials? Are you there for the snacks? Usually if we do a Super Bowl thing, I'm there for the snacks. That's my favorite part. So thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I do ship with me videos hopefully every day, Monday through Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, just kind of chronicling what a part-time reseller actually sells. Sometimes it's like this, and sometimes it's really good, and sometimes I don't sell anything at all. But I just enjoy sharing it with you. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you soon.